So I'm going to take our pieces and I'm going to just take glue and glue them to all 4 sides. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to change my order here. That's how I did it last time, but I think I'm actually going to put these down first, and then when I do this, it'll be sitting on top of those. So that'll be a much better, cleaner fit. And then once I've attached all those, I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to trim off my excess. Something that I like to do when I am using liquid adhesive is, you can see it's like on there in kind of stripes, and I like to just kind of set it and then slide it into place. That kind of spreads some of the glue out itself without you having to do it. So that's just something that I do to get the adhesive spread more. Okay, now we have the sides and the bottom of our base covered. Now we're going to work on the tube. So you're going to want to pick out the side that you think is the most cleanest looking side, because that's probably what you're going to see the most. So I'm going to do it there. And then you can tilt your angle however you want. I'm right-handed, so it makes more sense to me for it to be tilted to the right. So you're just going to stick that in and push it all the way down to the base. Okay. Now this is our paper here, our base, our paper that's going to go on our base. And what we're going to do is we're going to get it to where it's going to connect the two here and cover the tube. And how I do that is I take it and I score it at 1/2 inch. This is going to give me my guide. Okay. This is where it's actually going to fold up the tube. Okay, so I'm just going to crease that, and you see we have kind of a lip on it now. Now, in order to get the paper to curve around an edge, you have to cut like that. So we're going to do that all the way around. What this does is it breaks up that piece that's going to curve, allowing it to now curve. So what we're going to do is I'm going to see how this is going to sit here, and then it is going to now cover and allow us to attach it here with these pieces, but also cover the tube with those pieces. Okay. So we're going to use some more liquid adhesive on this. And I just tend to do just a little bit at a time so that I can get it. Okay, so at least I can get it started. And then I'm going to put the seam in the back. So I'm going to start in the back. And I'm going to hold that, and I'm going to smooth it until I feel like it's adhered. And this is where the paper towel comes in handy, because it's now squishing all of that glue out while it adheres. Okay, now that we have the tube covered and now we have it attached, we're going to fold these into the tube. As you see, we have a lot of excess going on here. So we're going to do kind of the same concept. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut slits in this side as well, just going around the whole tube. Gonna go a few little tabs at a time. Put some liquid adhesive on them, like that, and then I'm gonna fold them in. Have it. That's our tube is now covered. It's now adhered to our base, and so there's just a few more things to do in order for it to be complete, and that would be, let's line the inside so we don't see all of that there. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to take my 2.5 by 6. I'm going to roll it up. I'm going to measure it, make sure. Okay, so I've got it flush with the top there, but see we have this curve to deal with still. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to trace the curve. Once I've traced the curve, I'll take it back out and I'll trim that part off that I traced. This is going to help me line it back up when I put it in there also. Okay. Now we're going to take our glue . And we're going to adhere it inside. Another reason I like to use a paper towel when dealing with the glue is because you can get a lot of ink on your fingers when crafting, either pencil or pen. Like I have ink on my thumb because of the marker I used, and this, just by using the paper towel, it helps not get all that ink all over your project while cleaning up the excess glue that squishes out. So we've now covered our inside. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take that piece of acetate that we punctured the hole in, and what I did is I'm going to cut it out because mine didn't cut through all the way. And then once I have it cut out, I actually get some glossy accents because it's very strong adhesive and works really well on smooth surfaces like this. And I'm just going to cover the whole thing in that glue. And then I'm going to drop it into the bottom. Okay, see it in the bottom there? And then I'll just take something else, and this is just another glue bottle, and kind of press it so that it'll adhere to the bottom of the tube. Okay, see that there? Alright, now our last step before we have to start embellishing is to cover this. And you can see some of our little flaps are overhanging, so I just take my scissor and cut those off. Okay, that way they're not overhanging outside of our base. Okay, now like I said, I should have drew the circle, the tube, before I stuck the tube in. Luckily I have this extra piece right here. Draw my circle there, and then I'm going to cut the circle out. That looks pretty good, pretty snug. So I'm just going to lift it up just a little bit so I can get some adhesive under there. Just take it off. Okay, now that we've pressed it into place, we have all this excess overhanging. So let's cut that excess off. So I'm going to give myself some space to get my scissors in. And then I'm just going to cut right along the edge. And then I'll press that down real good now that we have all the excess off. Okay, so something else to do just to clean up some of these raw edges that we have here is I will go back through with my black marker and I will just hit up all of these edges. You don't have to do this, but it just kind of cleans them all up a little bit so you don't see that white edge against the black. Okay. Okay, so this is our base, and your glue just goes in here like that. So that is that. So now we will go ahead and get some embellishments out and embellish the box. What I did was I picked out a couple cut aparts from the paper pad, and I'm going to I think I'm going to decide which one I want for the front. Do I want to put this here and then put the boot? Maybe the boot goes back there, or maybe I want the boot here. I think I want the boot on the front, so I'm gonna just cut that out. Okay, so now that I've cut those things out that I want to use, we're just now going to put all the embellishments on. So sit back and relax while I do that. Okay, so that concludes making our glue holder, our liquid glue holder. Now I'll just have this on my desk, and anytime I make a project where I need liquid glue, like anything that has to do with chipboard is usually when I use it. So for my albums and projects like this, I will have an ability to hold my glue and have it at the ready all the time. I won't have to do this shaking anymore. It'll always be at the tip of the glue bottle. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will put in the description below the size of chipboard and paper that you will need, and hopefully you will be able to make yourself one of these for your desk as well. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will be back again with more videos soon.